Shalom, friends. Welcome to our Neo-Hasidic reading of Parashat Yiggash. There are two verses in this Parashat that I want to comment on. This is not about the story of Joseph. We talked about that last week, the figure of Joseph. But there are specific verses in this Parashat that very interesting things are done with in the Hasidic sources and that I want to look at as well. The first is the opening pasuk of the opening verse of the Parashat. And I want to read it in Hebrew and then in English. ויגש אליו יהודה, ויאמר בי אדוני, ידבר נא עבדך דבר באוזני אדוני, ואל ייחר אפך בעבדך, כי כמוך כפרעה. Now I'm going to translate this in a particular way. Judah approached him and said, My Lord is within me, be Adoni. Now don't get angry. No, I'm sorry. Judah approached him and said, My Lord is within me. Let your servant speak some words in the ears of my Lord, and don't get angry, because you are like Pharaoh. That's an unusual translation of the verse. The Hasidic sources all talk about Yehuda and Yosef as two different types of personalities. The tradition of Ishbitz has a very strong comment on this, and others. I want to read it my way. The word names Yosef and Yehuda speak for themselves. Joseph, is from the word to add, lehosif, yasaf. Joseph is a person who's always adding things to his CV, to his accomplishments list. He's a very accomplished person from the beginning. He more or less runs his father's household, even though he's the youngest of almost the youngest of the sons. When it says he brought word of what the other sons were doing back to his father, you know that he's an important person. And then he winds up running Potiphar's house, and then he winds up running the jail, and then he winds up running all of Egypt. He's a very important person. He is always adding to his accomplishments, more and more. He seeks to do that. He is Netzach in the list of the Sfirot. Netzach means triumph. He's always triumphing, and he's looking for triumph after triumph. He walks through life looking for things he can accomplish, looking for ways to be significant. And he does it. Yehuda, his name also attests to who he is. Yehuda is Yodeh. He is grateful, with the addition of the letter Hey, or maybe it's the name of God with the addition of the letter Dalet. Yehuda is a person who's always grateful to God. He may not have the great accomplishments of Yosef, but he's grateful for what he has. He's a leader primarily by moral example, not by list of achievements. He's Hod, the other side. Hod milshon lehodot, to be grateful, to acknowledge it's not all his. He didn't do it all on his own. He goes through life with an attitude of gratitude. And Yehuda approaches Yosef and says, Be Adonai, my Lord is within me, which is to say, Joe, I have some of you in me. I also think my life is valuable. I also think I contribute something. I don't chase accomplishments, it's true, but I think I've done something with my life. Now, I ask you, what of me do you have in you? Do you have Bi Adoni? Do you have some of me in you? Do you have a grateful side? A side that's satisfied with what you've done? A side that doesn't always need to go chasing more and more and more? Lehosif, Yosef, Yosef. Can you step back and say, yes, I'm grateful for what I have? Let me speak this word to you, and don't immediately get angry. Don't go to an angry place, because I know you have some of Pharaoh in you. Pharaoh's an angry man, as we are about to find out in the book of Shemot. I know you have some of that in you. But I'm challenging you to say, you have some of me in you as well. Which is to say, Yehuda is seeing through Yosef. Yosef may not have revealed himself to his brothers yet, but Yehuda sees something in him. Yehuda sees that this this person that is before him is not just a Yosef, is not just a high achiever, but he's got some other place in him and he's trying to call that forth. These two people, Yosef and Yehuda, Netzach and Hod, the high achiever and the grateful submitter, live side by side, sometimes within the same human being, and they struggle with one another. The Yosef says, get moving, do something better with your life. And the Yehuda says, be grateful for what you have, be grateful for who you are. Stop making overly strong demands on yourself. Sometimes they fight that out every day in a single person. They are there, and they compete with one another. And learning to make peace with them, Moses Shalom Bimromav, learning to make peace between them, is as hard as learning to make peace between Chesed and Gvura. That's why they're the next pair down. Because they too stand in tension with one another, Yehuda and Yosef, and have to be straightened out. That's the first verse. Second verse in the parsha I want to look at is less well known, but is also very striking. When Yehuda is explaining to Yosef what it would mean if he left Benjamin behind. Remember, the cup was found in Benjamin's pack, which they put it there, of course. And he's trying to explain to Yosef what it would mean to leave Benjamin behind. He says, Ech ele elavi v'hanar einenu iti. How will I go up to my father and the lad not be with me? It's very poignant. It's the line that breaks Joseph's heart and causes him to send everybody out and reveal himself to his brothers. It's the line that's meant to break your heart as well as you read the story. How could I possibly go back to my father and say, we've lost Benjamin, after he lost Joseph? How could I do that to him? Which is to say, he maybe knows already that Joseph will feel that because he has the same father. But the Hasidic sources and I read that as how I go up to my father in heaven, with the na'ar not with me. How will I turn to God if the lad is not with me? Who's the lad? The person who started out on your journey. The person you were a long time ago as you became a seeker and began to ask questions, began to go deeper, and began to say what your dream was, to articulate to yourself what your dream was of spiritual growth. Have I forgotten him, her? Have I left them behind? How can I go up to heaven? How can I go up the ladder if that na'ar, if that young person who was within me is not carried with me as well? In order to go up the ladder, in order to reach heaven, I have to take that na'ar with me. How will I go up to my father if the lad is not with me? Thanks for listening. See you next week. Shabbat Shalom.